on.
What's up everyone? Last video we went through my WitchHunter grenades and explosive shot build using a Viper cap. That was meant to be an entry level guide to the end game. I posted that one about 2 weeks into the league. Now it's almost been a month since this 0.3 season and I have so much more to share with you guys. I'm quite new to YouTube and I just want to say thank you to those who watched and supported my channel. I'm honestly quite shocked about the amount of views I got, and YouTube showed me that my audience is from all over the world, from the US to Europe and Asia. I truly appreciate you tuning in. If you find any of my content helpful, please like and subscribe. Comment if you need any advice or just want to chat. Let's get right into it. So, gears update. There are many new changes to my gears. Some are crafted by myself, some were purchased, picked up from the ground, and some were the ones same as before. But I corrupted them and maybe got lucky. Before going in details, I want to say that again I'm using iron reflexes, which converts all evasion ratings to armor, so most of my stuff is armor related. Now my crossbow has 3 sockets. I didn't need to buy a new one. I was a bit stupid trying to use a fracturing orb because now it has been locked with a lower rolled modifier. I'm good with it as of now, although I discovered many players crafted crossbows with an onslaught modifier that gives you extra movement speed. That is nice. So helmet, same as before, constricting command Viper cap, the heart and soul of many builds this season. One of my friends dropped a 2-socketed one that hasn't been corrupted, and that's now worth hundreds of divines. I received a lot of questions on this helmet. With their price being relatively stable, get a 1-socket one if you are really on a budget, and a 2-socket one for the long run. They are usually a few divines apart. Make sure to set the maximum as -5 for the fewer enemies modifiers when you're doing a price search. Body armor. I got a new one with a little bit of desecration attempts and veiling. Finally got a 3-socketed piece. At this point I care more about improving my life pool, so I use socketed soul cores of Jaquani, which is very expensive nowadays. I actually downgraded my armor in many ways, such as on the passive tree, which I'll get into later, because my primary goal is to maximize movement speed. You'll have to find your own balance between armor and maximum life. Moving on to gloves and boots. A friend of mine plays as Deadeye, guided me through crafting in this game. I don't recall the specifics, but making gloves and boots is actually very deterministic. You basically buy a normal base, exceptional base, with 2 sockets and begin the crafting. It could be costly as both gloves and boots require like Essence of Horror to guarantee this modifier. 100% increase in socketed item. Make sure you have at least 15 to 20 divines to even think about crafting yourself. Also, the last step could involve using Omen of Light to keep removing desecrated mods until you get the ones you want, and corrupting the final product may not give you an extra socket, so always have a safety gear in case things go wrong. I'm not here to talk about crafting, so please check out other streamers for more tips. Now back to the gloves itself. I prefer having 2 attack prefixes and 1 really high life modifier to enhance my HP. There's really no point in having a high armor or Evasion Glove because you really want those attack modifiers. Now boots are different, as it won't give you any direct upgrades or on damage, so you could prioritize high armor boots. Crafting wise, it's very similar to gloves, quite expensive. If you need resistance, get one with high resistance. I'm quite full on res, so rarity is actually nice for me. When it comes to sockets for boots, I'm going with reduce movement penalty, reaching a 36% reduced penalty while moving. Ideally, there's another rune called the Rune of Chase that gives you 5% increased movement speed per socket. With my modifier, that is 30% total increase in movement speed, but that's for another day, as I cannot afford them right now. On gloves, I just got the Talisman of Sirius, totaling 48% of increased attack speed. So those are the boots and gloves. About the belt, Headhunter Heavy Belt. Do I really need to explain this one? As long as you map fast, it helps you map even faster, randomly boosting your HP, defenses, damages, and speed throughout your actions. If you haven't got it already, it should be your probably the top priority. And the price has actually dropped a little bit in the past few days, so don't give up chasing it. Now, I got really lucky with my rings. I bought one and dropped one on the ground, and I corrupted both by myself, which turned out to be very decent. So here's one, here's the other one. Other than attack prefixes, again, I care about life in the prefix. For suffixes, I go for rarity and resistances. Some people even go with double rarity modifiers. So this one doesn't have rarity, but the other one, it has decent rarity. I haven't changed my amulet so far. I think it's pretty good as of now. It just has a random enchanted modifier, so whatever, plus 12 to dexterity. Please don't go around corrupting everything on you like I did. I had cases where I had to buy basically the same items I wore before because of my bad decisions. So you don't see those right now because I threw the bad examples away. Yeah, so definitely be cautious. Last but not least, I think for my build, the top 3 charm you should get are Rarity, Slow, and Frozen. So Rarity charm, you can basically get a golden charm, whereas the ultimate upgrade would be the unique version, Rite of Passage golden charm, that possesses you with a powerful spirit. I got the Fall of the Axe silver charm from a ritual, and I believe it helps you deal with things like chilled ground. That is a very frequent phenomenon in this season. I removed some nodes on my passive tree because now I have this charm, which is pretty nice, the Fall of the Axe. To help you against being frozen, the Thawing charm is very useful and affordable. No more standing like a tree when you open a strongbox, right? Now I actually changed some stuff on the tree that technically lowered my damages on some of the skills I've been using. However, I made some changes to fix the damage problems. Rakiata's flows on explosive grenades. It's a game changer. Lineage support jams that essentially invert enemies' resistances. I used to care way too much about penetrating resistance, but with this new support, I don't need to worry about elemental damage that much. I also now has payload instead of deliberation or multi-shot. I think it's worth it, especially during boss fights. The rest are the same as before. Elemental Armament 2, Short Fuse 2, and Defy 2, which solves the mana problem. As for cluster grenades, all the support gems are identical, but instead of Rakiata, because you cannot have 2 Rakiatas, I use Second Winds. Second Winds 3, actually. I'm just gonna quickly go over Flash and voltaic grenades as well as mortar cannon, because honestly the support gems for them don't matter too much. So for flash grenades, multi-shot, short fuse 1, main, profanity 1, defy 2. Again, you don't need to mimic me on these. I kind of just created them this way. I don't know if that's the most efficient combination or setup. Voltaic grenade, I have magnified area 1, short fuse 2, stormfire, living lightning, defy 2. Mortar cannon, again I infused it with a high level oil grenade that helps me deal extra fire damage and slow enemy movement speeds, for example. I use this, I don't know how to pronounce it, Tahoa's Tending, Urgent Totem 3, Magnified Area 2, and Potent Exposure. This Tahoa's Tending, it gives your totem or the mortar cannon 50% more maximum life, so this is nice. I used to see my cannon just destroyed by the smallest enemy mob, so this thing helps it stay longer on the ground. One thing important about all of your support gems is that you need 10 of each color to achieve the notable rewards in Gem Enthusiast. So as you can see, I have at least 10 in each color. By that I mean, you know, there's intelligence support gem, strength support gems, and dexterity support gems. You need to have at least 10 of each to qualify for this notable. Gem Enthusiast, it gives you a 5% increase in life, mana, and movement speed. I guess mana doesn't really matter that much because we have the Viper cap that, you know, gives us the defy features, but yeah, the increasing maximum life and speed, those are priceless. Now the major change when it comes to my experience overall is that I began to use explosive shot way just more often as my main mapping skill. Explosive shot. If you recall my last video, I was alternating between explosive grenades and cluster grenades for regular mapping. It was fun because it one-shots everything, but with explosive shot now, I experienced a more efficient mapping. No need to wait for cooldown, no reloads, and not clunky at all. I actually learned a lot from Rutu, who uses explosive shot as a Deadeye, and he inspired me to improve my movement speed and just the overall mapping experience. Just going over the support real quick. Nova projectiles as before, magnified area 1, elemental armament. I use Rotha's Assault and Arjun's Medal, but I noticed that, you know, if you're playing a juice map, you might not necessarily need Rotha's Assault. It does give you 3 additional bolts, but you need to dodge in order to reload. However, this Arjun Medal is itself more essential for the build because it has a really high chance to load a bolt to your crossbow skills when you kill an enemy. So this thing is a must. I like Rotha's Assault, but you don't have to use it. I just naturally dodge a lot. Maybe that's why I prefer just having it here, but yeah, you can replace it with stronger support gems if you want. Yeah, Spirit Gems the same, Herald of Ash, Herald of Thunder. I do have a shield in my second weapon set, but I don't, yeah, how do I put it? Don't worry about it. I used to get one-shot by certain bosses, certain moves, such as Breach Lord's Xesht Flick, or maybe Zarok, the Temporal, if you run Sakimas a lot. Holding a shield for a few seconds could actually save your life, but I rarely use it now because, yeah, if you one-shot bosses, you don't need to use it. I don't have anything on my second weapon set, so why not? Now, the passive tree, I can talk for hours staring at it, but I want to save everyone some time. Thanks for bearing with me so far. If you're still watching, check out the link in the description for my profile on POE Ninja. It has all my gears, jab stats, and passive tree information. If you referenced my tree before, I drew a graph here showing the changes I made. The pink dots are the nodes I no longer use, and the dark red lines and circles are the ones I started using. I made many changes since my last video, sacrificing some damage and defense nodes, trying to achieve a faster movement speed and reduced movement penalty. The two clusters will give you so many movement buffs. If you don't have to click all of them, if you have a from nothing diamond that has a Val Pact allocated, it allocates, you know, anything that surrounds Val Pact. It gives you this radius so you can click things in there without connecting to the tree. Now, some people only clicked two nodes inside this radius, such as light on your feet, that gives you 3% increased movement speed, and also momentum. It reduces all movement penalty for armor, which is super important. Some people only click these two. Some did 4. Some people care more about the movement speed straight up. Maybe some people care about these two, the slowing potency. I clicked all of them. I went with everything. As for the surrounded nodes related to the Viper Cap perks, I made a mistake last video and hope to clarify here. My gut feeling is that we don't actually need Paranoia because we are always surrounded. I noticed other top players started to realize this, and they took this node off. 50% increase surrounded area of effect, but it doesn't matter since we need like 0 enemy to be counted as surrounded, so we're always surrounded no matter what. We don't need the surrounded area of effect. Let's talk a little bit about the jewels. I got an Undying Hate Timeless Jewels with Tribute to Amanamu. It's all the way on the right side of the tray. It took me a long way connecting here. I sacrificed a lot of nodes here. And what this does is it shows you an alternate version of the tree, and the unique node right next to you will prevent 20% of life loss and converts it to a dot damage over time. This is a lifesaver because it effectively prevents one-shots and gives you extra time to use your life flask. So this is like a very direct improvement on your EHP. Moving on. Megalomaniac Diamond. You probably won't find an exact replica of this one. Mine has cremation and multitasking. Cremation penetrates 18% of fire resistance, gains 6% of elemental damage as extra fire damage. And what's the other one? Multitasking, 15% increased skill effect duration, 12% increased cooldown recovery, which is what that really matters. There are many more good ones. By that I mean enchanted modifiers. I suggest you take a look on POE Ninja, for example, by looking at similar profiles, who uses similar builds, and what Megalomaniac do they use, and try using the weighted average function on the price search tool online, so you can list like maybe 5 or 10 of your ideal modifiers, and it will show up. Maybe there's like 2 combinations, or maybe even 3. You can technically have up to 3 modifiers here. And our next diamond, I actually didn't get to talk about this last time. Heart of the Well diamond. Ideally you want 2 modifiers here that gain you extra damage. So mine is gain up to 15% of damage as extra fire damage, and gain up to 13% of extra chaos damage. I think people, the more expensive ones are not chaos damage, so it's any 2 of the elemental damage one. Mine actually has a lower roll anyway, but I corrupted it, and it's fine, I guess, but it could get really expensive for these diamonds. The the two suffixes, or I don't even know if these are counted as suffix, but I have one that's attack speed and cooldown recovery rate, which is quite nice. At least it's somewhat useful. But yeah, use this knowledge to your benefits, and if it's getting expensive, might as well just get one with, you know, a 1 gain extra elemental damage modifier. But I feel like since you only have like up to 4 to 5 jewel sockets total, it's not like the first season. You really want to maximize your, you know, it better be a more useful jewel, because otherwise if you get a cheap Heart of the Well and it doesn't really have anything, you can just get a regular jewel, right, like an emerald. So yeah, like I actually bought those later on in the league. I still have one that's, I guess, more traditional. This is a Time Lost Ruby. I actually screwed up last time. I corrupted a diamond that's essentially better than this one, but it replaces like 3 existing modifiers, so it turned out to be a different jewel at that point, and I threw it away. So yeah, guys, don't corrupt whatever you see. Took me a couple of divines to get a similar one, and but you get the point. This one, it increased the effects of both my small and notable passives. Without the ruby, I gain actually, so here it says 12% increased movement speed, but without it, I only get 10% increased movement speed and half a meter to dodge roll distance. But with this, it's almost like a 20% increase on these larger nodes, and this is quite nice. Anyway, I know this is a lot to digest. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you guys are interested in other aspects of the game, different topics. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep things short here. Let's get out there and have some fun. Peace out.